you know what I'm talking about. Most of us have a certain commonality. That's what, you know, and since we have a certain commonality, that's what we're talking about. It's commonality that are I keep kicking the microphone. Commonality. Now that's okay, man. We're here together. We're here together. We're going to help each other. We're going to be with. We're going to be with each other. We're going to try to behave well. You know what I mean? And so it's like now. But there's things that are happening right now that are not good behavior. It's not good behavior. Like last night, there was like one of my neighbors was having a party, you know, and it's like, you know, they were very loud and they sounded like it was a really good party. They were having a good time, you know. And I thought, well, that's okay. And I thought, well, it's really very loud. And then I thought, well, that's only, you know, I didn't really care. So it was only sort of an intellectual pursuit to think, well, should I do something about it? You know, because it wasn't okay. You know, they weren't taking their neighbors into consideration. They were too loud, man. And it got later, and then it was not okay to do. You know, then you know, so then everybody started feeling, you know. I had all these thoughts going in my mind, you know, and that just happened, you know, that's the kind of thing I want to talk about. But that's only like being a good neighbor and being conscious, you know. It's like, okay, look, we're all here together. That's the whole thing. We're here together, and since we're here together, we've got to consider each other. I've heard of one way to do that. Most of the people that are in your life are so brief that you'll never think about them very much anymore, you know. So, you know. But if you can exchange yourself for another person, if you can think, now how would that person feel if they were going through the situation that they're going through, especially where I'm concerned, you know, because I'm involved. Otherwise I wouldn't be observing it, you know. So if you can exchange yourself for that person, you know, that's a very good thought, you know. That's a good thing to do, you know, to exchange yourself for somebody else, you know, because that'll help you to understand why they're going through something, and then you can, you know, either help them or not put them in that situation to begin with, you know. That's you know. So we're here to discuss, you know, things like that. We're here to discuss things of how we can make this better, you know. Notwithstanding, I mean, this is what's going on, man. There is like some really major stuff that's not okay. Some of the governments in the world really aren't okay. You know, like a lot of the people really are very unevolved. Like what happened to me last night with those people that were having a party. If they had thought for a minute that they were really bothered, that I was upset and I was going through all that I was going through, they wouldn't want to hurt me. They would want me to have a good time. Everybody wants to have a good time. That's the whole thing. Everybody wants to have a good time, and nobody wants to have a hard time. You know, nobody wants to be bummed out. You know, and so it's like, you know, if they had thought that, but they never thought it. You know, so for me to go through all those changes, it's like, oh well, you know, I'm really sorry I had to do that. But you know, that's what we're talking about. Like, you know, trying to, you know, since we're here together, we've got to, you know, make sure that we take each other into consideration. You know, that's what we have to do. Isn't that right?
And hurry! Hurry! And feel free to let us know when you're done, because we got some more things to do too. We got a lot. We're gonna keep our plate is full, man.
Listen, okay, look, just write to us and tell Whispering Electro and Reverend Leroy Montana what you think is going on and what you think should be done about it. You know, that's all. You know, say this is cool. This is what's going on. This isn't cool.
You can check right here for